man, what the hell is going on in the crypto market right now?
It took me by surprise. My base case was that we were going to see the typical year-end rally. Obviously, most of us had the same idea. Usually when most of us have the same idea, it doesn't work. But the other thing I did know is, having come from that finance background, knowing how hedge funds and institutions work, I also knew that if you're a hedge fund and you've got crypto in your portfolio, you've probably had a good year. So to get paid, you tend to close out your portfolio. So you know what you're going to get paid at the end of the year. So they are incentivized to sell their positions, to go away for Christmas, have a break, that kind of stuff. The institutions like pension funds and others, they tend to rebalance their portfolio. So like Ethereum's up 500% this year. So if they started with a 1% weighting, they're now at a 5% weighting. So they'll probably bring it back down to, let's say, a 2% weighting in line with their allocation. So you've got institutional sellers that never really were in the market before. And they're not expressing, I don't think, a negative view of the market. What they're just doing is rebalancing for year end. And so my general view is that most of that selling is now done. And so the next thing they all come into January with is a new P&L. And, oh, what do I do now? So the metaverse is not a single destination. It is the increasing digitalization of our lives. So right here we are now. I'm in the Cayman Islands. You guys are in Brazil. This is basically a metaverse experience. This is a digital experience that did not exist 5-6 years ago. Yeah. So, and we now take it for granted. So there's a lot of people, like half of the entire staff at Real Vision, I've never met in person because of this new metaverse. Distributed workplaces are basically metaverse experiences. So everything is being digitized. The acceleration of that digitization is the metaverse. So when we live in this increasingly digital world, then it becomes increasingly difficult for me to exchange value with you until we've built out this blockchain infrastructure that allows us to exchange value digitally, instantaneously around the world. And it's a network that nobody owns. So, that is a great thing. But as Web3 rolls out, we will stop spending our lives arguing over Solana versus Terra or Bitcoin versus Ethereum. And we will care about the consumer applications of stuff that people won't know or care is Bitcoin. We don't talk about, oh, we're on an internet connection today. We don't care, we're on Zoom. And it could be Zoom or it could be Microsoft Teams or it could be whatever. We don't really care either. I don't even know what computer you're on. You don't know what I'm on, what internet network you're on. None of that matters. But it's the consumer application that's going to come, and NFTs were the first sight of the consumer application. They're still very geeky. It's still a crappy environment. The wallets are still impossible. Most people don't understand why you want to own a stupid picture of a monkey. None of this really makes sense. The art market was a little more understandable. But my guess is once large communities of culture, so music and sports predominantly, and probably fashion, those three are probably the largest cultural influences in the world. Once they start adopting, which is happening at NFT level, but I think it's also going to happen at social tokens level, then we will all understand what it means to have the Web3 idea of a stake in a network. And that's the game changer. We won't think of it as a cryptocurrency or whatever thing. It's like you're participating in that network. It's much like if we'd had all been given shares in Facebook when Facebook launched, we would have all participated in that network. We didn't have the shares. All of these things is people fearing change. Jack Dorsey's like, well, I don't want this Web3 thing. I just want Bitcoin. And, the Ethereum guys like, we don't want Solana and Terra and Avalanche. Everybody fears change. The traditional media fears change. The banking industry fears change. Change is happening so fast, and it's not being driven by one entity. It's this broadly spread phenomenon. It's scary because you don't feel in control. So I think the gamers feel the same